What up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. First off, let's go ahead and just give Prowling Veteran Podcast an absolute shout out for becoming a member today. All right, let's just go ahead and knock that out the way. Shout out to you. Shout out to Prowling Veterans Podcast. Shout out to them. Go check them out. Obviously, they're a podcast. So obviously, go check them out. If they're on YouTube, go like, subscribe. They're on Spotify, iTunes. Go find them on there. Wherever they're at, I'm not really sure. Maybe they got a Twitter account. Go look it up. Maybe they got a TikTok. Who knows? But go shout out to them. All right. Appreciate everyone joining, man. Let me tell you something. It's fucking Friday, first off. All right. Number two, if you guys get sick and you get the stomach bug, I don't wish it on my worst enemy to get that. Honestly, me and my family have been dealing with that for the past like 2 days. That's why you haven't seen me. Honestly, that's why you haven't seen me since Tuesday. And I lost 4 subscribers since Tuesday. So, fuck you guys. All right, who unsubscribed? No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. It happens. Can't be live every day, ladies and gentlemen. I try to be. So shout out to the Prowling Veterans Podcast. We already got Marcos Cash in the chat. What's good, man? Raw Walk was good. Sean was good. Again, Prowling Veterans Podcast. Shout out to them for becoming a member. Yeah, so I got through all the chat. Make sure, you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that post notifications bell as you come in. Also, feel free to get in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to get in the chat. I'm thinking about opening up the show tonight. But before we get into that, I want to break down what we're getting into. All right, because here's the thing. We have visits, right? We're in April, which means the NFL draft is right around the damn corner, right? I mean, there's everybody, all these teams are going to be finalizing their evaluations. Carolina Panthers, like every other franchise, are scrambling around for the talent, right? They're making full use of their opportunities to scrutinize potential picks. And let's be real, after the disaster we had 2 years ago, and I wouldn't even say last year was a disaster. I want to say that the start of the season season was a disaster, but it was far from good, really. I mean, the only positive I took away from it last year was an evaluation year of Dave Canales, where this offense is going, right? And where this, and of course the defense. So I guess you could say it was a disaster maybe last year. I don't know. Mixed feelings, I guess you could say, for me. But we need all the help we can get, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We all get that. I mean, NFL teams don't just draft on a whim, right? We don't just draft on a whim. None of these teams do. None of these teams draft on a whim. At least the smart ones don't, because what they do is they use various methods to assess prospects. Top 30 visits, local visits, dispatching scouts or coaches to pro days. Like, the Panthers haven't exactly been very secretive about this process. Several of their past picks were telegraphed basically through their visits, right? So if you want to peek behind the curtain, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going through some comprehensive breakdown on this, of who Carolina has brought in for a closer look. We are still going to do the Tyler Warren breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. So we're still going to do that this weekend. So possibly tomorrow or Sunday. I've got it scheduled for tomorrow. We're doing a big family day tomorrow. We got Costco tomorrow. I mean, Costco's huge, ladies and gentlemen. We're Costco guys here, okay? All right. Double chocolate cookie. That deserves 3 booms, okay? Yeah, that was gay as hell. Anyways, moving on. And then we also have like a family day that we're doing before we go to Costco. So hopefully tomorrow night we'll do the breakdown of Tyler Warren. So, but I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream and joining in tonight. So if I'm also with these visit breakdowns, okay. What's up, Zach? Thank you, Marcos. Yes, appreciate that. Yes, I'm definitely feeling better. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Just went wishing I'm missing anybody on these visits that we're going to be breaking down, please let me know because I have seen some of the visits, right? But I have a list of visits I've already made. I just need to, if I miss someone, you let me know. Okay. If I miss someone, will you let me know? Now, what we're going to do when we're breaking this down today, is we're going to try to narrow down where we could be end up looking at. Okay, or who we're going to end up going with at the eighth pick. Okay, that's what we're going to try to do today. Okay, that is what the assessment is going to be. Okay, so let me present my screen here. I think it's this one. Yes. All right. So I have it in a Google Doc, basically. Trying to see maybe if this will be better for you guys. And let's do it this way. All right, let's move that over here. So far, from a standpoint, from a positional standpoint, we have running backs, Ollie Gordon and Jarquez Hunter. Now, if there's anybody I'm missing, let me know. We'll add them. And again, when we go and look at these guys, right? Hold on one second here. So we got Jarquez Hunter and we got Ollie Gordon as running backs. Maybe I should do it like this. No, we'll just leave it like that. Let's make this just bigger. How about that? Let's make this writing a little bit bigger. Can we just make the writing bigger? That's better. Okay, so we got Ollie Gordon and at running back. So basically, this is what we're looking at from the 30 visits. All right. Um, Here's the thing: Ollie Gordon, Jarquez Hunter. I mean, Ollie Gordon looks like a man amongst boys. I'll be honest with you. When we're talking about the running back position, I mean, he looks like a man amongst boys. All right. Well, I mean, my boy Dougie. If y'all know, what's up, Doug? You've seen him plenty of times on the show. Been on his show plenty of times. He was actually at, I think it was the Big 12 Pro Days or whatever it was, and he saw Ollie Gordon. He said he looked like Najee Harris, basically a comparison. I think Ollie Gordon is definitely he's an interest of mine. He's not my favorite running back in this draft class, to be honest with you. I honestly would take a couple guys over him. But you're talking about a guy who is, 6'2", runs a 4.40, right? 225 pounds. He has the tools to be a true workhorse. I mean, he's got the vision, patience, size, to handle heavy load. He's not the most explosive, right? But his footwork balance make up for it. He's a plug and play starter in zone or a gap scheme. Okay. But don't be surprised if he's leading a backfield sooner rather than later. So Ollie Gordon, you know what? Let's just pull it up on PFF. That might be better. Let's get some visuals on these guys. Let's do that instead. Not fantasy. I have the list, so it's no big deal. So we'll go by position group though. All right, let me share my screen. What's good, Joseph? How are you? Sorry, I'm all over the place. All right, let's go with Ollie Gordon. Let's find him real quick. Let's get back. Oh, well, we spoke about Ollie Gordon, but I might as well pull him up. Might as well pull him up again. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking at his stats here. I want to get closer. There we go. Looking at his stats here. So this is we do need a power back. So that fits the mold, man. Like, I mean, he's a workhorse. So like I said, has the tools to be a true workhorse for sure. I mean, you look at him, 6'2", 225, like I said. I mean, he's and here's the crazy thing, former 4-star who averaged 9 yards, basically 10 yards per carry as a senior in high school. And then over the time of his course, I guess through his high school career, racked up over 2,500 yards, 35 touchdowns. So, again, there are some issues with him from a standpoint that the guy just needs to learn not to drink and drive. I'll tell you that from that standpoint. Panthers better not draft Warren. Why do you want him, broski? You want Warren? We're gonna break him down tomorrow. So whenever they need a first down, they just let him run. Basically, is what he is. He's a third down back. He's the guy that you want to go ahead, get that third down. Yeah. That 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1. I mean, you're talking about a guy. I mean, that's just crazy. Now, again, from PFF standpoint, they said his tape, which we have his tape, lacked violence, decisiveness, and agility, needs to succeed at the pro level. So we'll need to retool his approach as a big back to stand out in the league. So that's what they're saying there. But again, I think for Ali Gordon, from that standpoint, again, I think what they're saying is like I said, there's not much of explosiveness from him. I think his footwork is better than what PFF is saying. I think his balance is better than what PFF is giving us. I think he's a plug and play starter in a zone or gap scheme. Well, guess what we run? A wide zone scheme. Okay, so it makes sense. Okay. Again, don't be surprised if he's a leading backfield sooner than rather than later. I think that's what he is. You could probably get this guy in the 6th or 7th round, right? Like, that's where if Carolina was to draft him, he's a 6th or 7th round pick, late 6th, early 7th. Okay, all right. His stats are kind of similar. Chuba's coming out. Interesting. How do you average 10 yards per carry and not have explosion? I don't know, but that was in high school, also Trap. So different ball game. Give me Genty at 8. Sean's going crazy on Genty. I don't think Genty will be at us at 8, Sean. I think actually the Raiders will probably take Genty at 8. Here's a hot take, ladies and gentlemen. You want to hear a hot take for the draft? Jacksonville does this every year. They took Trayvon Walker. Remember that with the 1st round pick? This is a hot take. I think Jacksonville takes Jalen Walker at 5. Just saying. Because Jalen Walker is moving up on so many draft boards right now. Now, here's the thing. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville takes him at 8. Like they did with Trayvon Walker, who was predicted a mid-1st round pick in 2022, and then they ended up taking him. I think Jacksonville is one of those teams that could end up taking Jalen Walker. But I also see Jacksonville being the team that either could take T-Mac or Tyler Warren as well. But having Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen, and Jalen Walker to Jacksonville's defense that lacks that. But they also need corner help. I mean, they could go and get Will Johnson or Jahad Barron. Jacksonville's an interesting one to watch. Jacksonville's a team one to watch. So I'm just saying. At this point, I think 8 pick will be Jalen Walker. Do you think we take? Who do you think we take at 57? I'll get more into that here in a minute. I'll get that to more here in a minute. We're gonna continue to break this down in these visits for a second. Okay. Lance Zerline had Walker to the Raiders. That's interesting, Marcos. That's an interesting one there. Shout out to BetUS, by the way, guys. BetUS sponsored by is sponsoring, of course, the Rockstar Report. Sign up for free today. Get 125% bonus up on your first bet, up to three. No, up to three bets. First three bets, up to $2,000. All right. Just botch that ad review. Shit. All right, so we also had another running back visit. We're going through all of them. So we're going to go to Jarquez Hunter, who actually I do like. I do like. We saw some of his film. I do like Jarquez. Pretty solid stats, right? 5'10", 209 pounds. I have him higher on my board than definitely than I do Ollie Gordon. Jarquez Hunter, man, he is kind of small. I will say that for his size. I mean, 5'10", 209. It's pretty. I mean, he's still pretty stout, right? Built like a stump. All right. I mean, that would be basically. I mean, I would be an inch shorter of him, and then basically imagine me being 5'9", 210. I mean, that's the way I would look at it. Because I'm 5'9". If I was 210, I'd be swolled up. All right. So I've got him. I got him where I think he's perfectly rated by honestly how PFF has him rated. I think he's he's almost like a jitterbug. Like if you've ever like another guy that I would compare him to is like him and like RJ Harvey out of UCF is kind of who I compare. Like those two are kind of the same. Like Bashul Tootin is kind of the same, except Bashul Tootin's got way more burners on him, right? Like I think Jarquez Hunter is also a guy who is a guy who can make big plays. Like I think he's also I think he runs I think he ran a 4.4 if I'm not mistaken. I do. Some people think he's undersized. I like PFF. I don't think he's that small. I don't think he's that undersized. I mean, you're 5'10", 210. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I do think that they're right on his high intelligence. He's got great vision, right? You know, he can find the open lanes. He makes smart plays. He can anticipate where the holes are, where he needs to be, right? Great footwork. But you're not gonna. I don't see him being a guy that breaks a lot of tackles in tight spaces. Like I think he's an electric kind of change of pace who can torch defenses if you used him correctly. He could be a massive steal. You never know. I think he's one of those guys that could end up coming out of nowhere, right? I think he's a guy that could end up coming out of nowhere, but you never know. All right. He's one of those guys I think is a sleeper, could come out of nowhere. So I like Jarquez. I'm glad we met with him. Again, he's a day 3 pick. He's a day 3 pick. I mean, he could end up I don't see running backs going off early. The only running backs I see going off early, really, if we're looking at this standpoint, the only ones I see going early maybe is Trayvon Henderson, Quashawn Junkins, Cam, Omarion, and them. Like I could see them going in the first. Like those are going to be my first from first to third round. Those are the guys that I see going early. After that, really, I mean Dylan Sampson maybe, but again, I could see him falling to the 4th or 5th. Same thing with Caleb Johnson. Right, DJ Giddens, you know, Devin Neal. I see 4th or 5th round as well. Like I really don't see a lot of running backs coming off this board early, except a few. Right. What's up? Hey, now what's good? What's good? Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you joining. Marcos comes in, step on that like button if you have not already. I do like Jalen Noel, yeah, or Kyle Williams later on. I've seen mock drafts where we took Kyle Williams at the 3rd round, but Kyle Williams is moving up draft boards right now. He might not be moving up on PFF, but on other draft boards, he's moving up. Kyle Williams is moving up. I've heard that he could end up being a 3rd round pick. Jalen Noel, he's either a 2nd or 3rd at this point. Royal, I think is probably a 3rd. You know, if I'm looking at day 2 guys, because it's only the 1st round, day 1. Day 2 is 2nd and 3rd. I think that's how it works, right? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then day 3 is 5th, 6th, 7th. Right? No. Day 1 is round 1. Day 2 is 2nd and 3rd. Day 3 is 4 and 5. Then the last day is what? 6 and 7? Something like that. I think that's how it goes. I can't remember. Should we give up the farm to move up for Travis Hunter since he is elite and fills 2 positions of need for us? No. We have too many holes. And I don't think corner is that big of a deal. Wide receiver, give or take, I just don't see the point. Zach Taylor says, I finally see what you see in Jahad Campbell. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Jahad Campbell's better than Jalen Walker. In my opinion, his based off the tape, it jumps off more to me. Maybe that's what it is, Marcos. I can't remember. We're definitely going to be watching them all. Definitely going to be watching them all for sure. All right. So day 1 is 1st round. Day 2 is 2nd and 3rd. Day 3 is 4. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought day 3 was like an all day affair. Pretty sure it starts at noon. It doesn't end till like 8 o'clock at night. Something like that. So I'm just telling you, Zach. I mean, his tape jumps off more to me. He can do all the same things Jalen Walker's does, but more explosive, sideline to sideline. The problem is here's the thing that I have a problem with. And so I want to make this clear to all you Panthers fans. You're going to do a draft live or not? Yes, I am, Marcos. We will be live for sure. I will try to be live. I'm going to try to be live every single one of them. I know day 1 for sure. We're going to be live that night. But here's the thing. I want to make something perfectly clear because I hear a lot of Panthers fans, and I'm talking about podcasters, YouTube people, Twitter handles, stuff like that. Like, can we stop comparing players to the past players? Can we stop trying to compare Jalen Walker to Luke Kuechly? Can we stop trying to compare like Jahad Campbell to Luke Kuechly? Can we stop this narrative of like trying to live in the past? Because let me tell you something right now. Luke Kuechly is a player that happens 1 out of 10 years. 1 out of 10 years. Let's be honest. Those type of players do not come by every single fucking draft, every single year. There is not a Luke Kuechly every single year. Okay? The draft it's a hit or miss ordeal in every single round. It's a risk every single time you draft. It is not a for sure thing. Abdul Carter right now might be the best edge rusher in this right now from a prospect standpoint. But that does not mean that he'll go into the NFL, right? And end up being the best edge rusher in this. It could end up being It could end up being somebody that got picked up in the 5th round, like a Max Crosby. No, Warren is more like I don't want no, I don't even want to compare players anymore. But can we stop comparing players that like and stop living in the past? Like we need another Luke Kuechly. We need another Cam Newton. We need another Steve Smith. We need another Greg Olson. We need another Thomas Davis. We need another blah. I mean, when do we stop comparing players, bro? And let's see what this player actually is as a player. Let's stop comparing him to Luke Kuechly. Let's stop trying to live in the past and say, well, maybe Michael Williams could be the next Julius Peppers. No, it is absolutely the most annoying thing that we try to compare players to our past players. Stop it. Stop living in the past. If you want to go and get a fucking time machine and take your ass back to 2015, be my fucking guest. Because right now I'm living in the fucking present. I don't know about you guys. I'm just tired of us trying to compare players to our past players. Like, let's just stop comparing like guys to our past players. It makes no sense to me. John Fox is not our coach either. Like, dang. Like, sorry for a rant there. I just had to get it out the way. Okay. Just stop comparing players to our ex players. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's move on. So, am I a fan of player comps? I am. I'm a fan of it to a certain extent, but when we start taking it to a whole nother, um, like start comparing them to a whole nother player that's a generational talent that we don't even know, and stop comparing them to just. And another thing is, like, stop comparing them to just Panthers players. If you want to do comps, do fair comps, but don't say, "Well, Jalen Walker's the next Luke Kuechly." What tells you that? Now, Nick Scorton wasn't my. It was Nick Scorton was my guy at first, but again, things change, man. People change your mind. Trap. So you're asking me if I'm okay with tight end Jadavion Sanders possibly injury prone. Did I ever say that? Did I say that? See, you're just insinuating or assuming shit. You're just trying to put words in my mouth. I don't like that. So no, I didn't fucking say that. Didn't say I was okay with it either. God damn, man. Y'all try to say some shit. It's like y'all try to catch me slipping. Man, that shit ain't gonna fucking happen. All right. Let's go on to the wide receivers. And I would not compare to Warren to Greg Olson. I would compare Warren more to Rob Gronkowski if I'm doing a comp. I think Jadavion Sanders deserves another year. I mean, it's not like you picked him in the second or third round or first round pick. Jadavion Sanders, you picked him in the 5th round. He was projected the second best tight end in that draft class last year. And he was projected to go second round, and you got him in the 5th. Y'all should feel lucky that we picked him, if anything. If anything, you should feel lucky. He was a 5th round pick. What did you expect out of a 5th round pick? To be the next Greg Olson? I mean, give me a break. And I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about this stupid ass comment. Sorry, that's a stupid comment. It is. I hate dumb comments. That's a dumb comment. So you're okay with Jadavion Sanders being a lockdown? I am for now. I am for now. Does that mean that I don't think that we'll go and get a tight end in this draft? The fuck? Shit. Hell, for all I know, Carolina might go out there and trade for Dallas Goedert. Rock Jones, I'm going to take a page out of PPP and say engaging content. If PPP is watching, I think we should get Mike Green or James Pierce, JPJ. I think Mike Green's a sleeper pick for us. I honestly have seen a lot of people take Mike Green, and that was at like a consistent pace. JPJ has, I think, fallen off our radar, to be honest with you. Especially when we're going through all these 30-day visits or local visits, pro days, whatever. Again, would I be opposed to James Pierce Jr., JPJ? No, I'm not opposed to it. The problem is I do have, and guys, think about this. Think about what I'm about to say. Jalen Walker, right? Okay, think about this. Jeremy Chin, he could play in the box, but he could also play back, right? Like he could play safety. Okay. He could play linebacker. He's a hybrid, right? What did Evero do with him? What with these types of hybrid players, right? What did Evero do with him? A tweener. A lot of people like to call them tweeners. And you'll see what I'm getting at with here. What did he do with him? Answer that in the chat. What did Jiro Evero do with Jeremy Chin? Did he make him better? Or did we just waste Jeremy Chin's time? Hold on, I'm gonna get to that. Think about it this way. What did Ejiro Evero, and I'm asking you guys this question. What did Ejiro Evero do with guys that can play like tweeners, which can play multiple roles, right? Like a Jalen Walker, Jahad Campbell. Guys who can play multiple positions, right? Jahad Campbell, Jalen Walker, both can play outside, but they can also play inside. He don't know how to use them. Nothing. That's the answer. Exactly. So this is where I'm getting at. Why? So does it make sense for us to go after a Jahad Campbell? Does it make sense to go after Jalen Walker then? Because is Evero going to use those guys correctly? Or would it be better? Can say the same about Luvu. Yeah, Marcos. So would it be smarter maybe for us to just go for somebody who's just good at one thing? Instead? From a defensive standpoint. So maybe just going after a Mike Green, or maybe going after a JPJ, or maybe going after a Michael Williams. Wouldn't it maybe just be smarter? Marcos is on the Jared Ivey chain. I see you, Marcos. Hey, you learn from the best, baby. You learn from the best. I told you about Jeremy. So, yeah, but Trap, I mean, here's the thing, man. But by you saying that about Evero is only proving that Evero's not a good defensive coordinator. I think maybe he's only a good defensive coordinator with guys that can only do what their job is entailed to do, instead of guys who can be moved multiple positions. That's where I'm getting at. I think he's good at developing guys, but they're molded to just do that one thing, right? You see what I'm saying now? Do y'all get what I'm getting at though? I think it makes sense. He's not good at transitioning guys into this 3-4 defense and putting them in multiple roles. He's just not. He's just not. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe it's just because the talent isn't really there and we haven't had the talent like a Jalen Walker or a Jahad Campbell. And maybe we really haven't had guys that can truly be, used. And maybe he hasn't actually had the talent like these guys. Could be that too. I'm just saying it's something to think about. I'm just saying I think it's just something to think about. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Can he help him tackle better? That's just true. Yeah, I've seen that too now. I've seen that too. Yep. It could be. See, that's a good point, Cyber. And AC Carter could be able to be the guy that works with those outside linebackers. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying that Jalen Walker, Jahad Campbell would not be a good pick, but that is also a good point. AC Carter is coming over, very smart, a linebackers coach out of the Rams. He's done tremendous things over there with Rams linebackers. You bring over Rosenboom, which makes a lot of sense why they went and got him. So, hey, you never know. I mean, maybe that's what they need. Maybe they needed a linebackers coach like him who can develop guys. So, Cyber makes a good point. Bro's mama a better coach. God dang, Broski. Broski come in with the harsh shit, man. He comes in with the harsh shit. He always got to throw mama jokes in there. It's all messed up, man. All right, I'm getting off topic, man. I'm getting off topic. All right, all right. So McMillan. So let's get back to this. So McMillan is was a top 30 visit. So McMillan was a top 30 visit. I know there's so much going on with him, with the whole didn't watch film. I mean, when that video came out, how he was like a freshman. I think he wasn't even. I think he was like. I think he was that was like 2 years ago. But before these last 2 years happened, right? Um, I mean, again, Tatori McMillan, man, you're just talking. You're talking about a guy who is big, technically refined receiver. I think he's got outstanding ball skills for sure. I think he's got a natural feel for the position. He's not a burner, but he wins with his size, right? Savvy. I think he's got a great understanding of route running. I think his ability to test his catches, adjust to throws, dominate in the red zone does make him a high level NFL prospect. I do. I think he may not have the overwhelming physicality of a Mike Evans type receiver, right? I think his skill set is comparable. I think he is a first round selection. Likely probably in the top 10 now, still at this point. I've seen boards where he falls even further, right? I've seen boards where he falls. I've seen him fall to the 21st pick or something like that. Um, I think teams, even I would say for me personally, I just don't feel Tatori McMillan. I like him. Like, don't get me wrong. I feel like we need guys who can create better separation though for Bryce personally. I think Golden, Abuka, Kyle Williams, Jalen Noel. Who else am I missing? I mean, I just think those guys are better fits, really, for our offense and for Bryce. That's the only thing for me, right? I think we do need some speed on that. I do think we need some speed, but I think that also, um, you know, that's just me. Isaiah Bond, yes, but there's some character issues there now. Now again, we all, it does happen. It all does happen. It does happen. Clay smoked not tonight. No, I don't. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke. So appreciate. Hey, back in the day, total different story. No, I think I don't think Roseman would be a starter. I think Wallace would still be our starter. Oh, okay, messing around. I got you. Dame, stop analyzing. Hey, I appreciate you joining, NFL kid, coming through. Winston, what's crazy about Winston, man, just because of that ACL injury, he was projected first round. He was projected first round. All right, so Tutoria was a was a visit. So let's go move on to another one, which was I got to get back to my list. Jalen Noel. So let's get down to Jalen Noel, who is one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft class. Jalen Noel. I mean, we've broken him down a little bit. I'm a huge Jalen Noel fan. If you guys obviously don't know that by now, I mean, I've talked about this guy a lot more than probably any wide receiver in this draft class, to be honest with you, between him and Kyle Williams, honestly. I think Jalen Noel is definitely one of my favorites. I think that a lot of people had him very underrated when talking about when we're talking about wide receivers. When you look at Jalen Noel, you're talking about a guy who's quick and twitchy athleticism, great route running, solid slot receiver prospect. I think he ran like a four. I think he ran a 4.3, if I'm not mistaken, at the combine. I don't remember if that's correct or not. I think he did run a 4.3 at the combine. Right. I think he's a guy that could take the top off the defense too. Like, I don't think he's not like a major burner, but there has been plays that you see that it's more that he knows how to just get open and create separation more than a burner. He just knows how to create separation, so it does look like they burn him, but it's just how he can separate with his feet. And so, again, if you're looking for a slot guy who can cut up the field, again, this is the guy keep your eye on. I think I think he's your guy in that standpoint. I think he's got the ability to make defenders miss in tight spaces. He makes smart plays. He's not there are some flashy plays, but not as flashy as others. He's just very fucking effective. Okay, that's what we're getting at. All right. Marcos, to answer your question, is there always sleepers? Yeah. 4.39. That's what I thought. I remember he ran a 4.3. You're talking about Alec Ao Manor, Marcos. You're talking about Alec Ao Manor, I think is how you pronounce his name. I'm not too sure how you pronounce him. I think he's one of those receivers who checks all the boxes. I think he's got the size. I think he's got the speed, strong hands, mentality, right? To match. I think he sets himself apart because he has a very competitive edge. The guy isn't just he's not just a stat builder. All right, he's not playing for stats. He's playing to embarrass you. He's built for the NFL. Again, if you're a DB who isn't ready to bring your A game, this guy's going to make you look foolish. That's what he is. Okay. I'm not sure what his 40 time is exactly. Let me look up his 40. I don't know what the speed is like. I know he's got, I mean, great. He checks all the boxes. I mean, he does have great route running. Let me look at his speed real quick. 4.4. 4.44. Yeah. The problem is when I saw his player comparisons, he was getting compared to Brennan Rice, Rashid Rice, which I'm fine with. Rashid Rice is nice. But one of his top comparisons was Jonathan Mingo. It kind of bothered me when I saw that. It kind of bothered me when they said Jonathan Mingo. Just saying. Dang, Jalen Noel had a 23 on bench press. That's pretty good for his size too, because you got to think about it. I mean, Jalen Noel is what, 5'11"? No, he's 6 foot, isn't he? No, 5'11", 200. Yeah, 5'11", 200. So, yeah, I mean, I think receivers a bit. I think when we look at the visits from a standpoint, like from the running back standpoint, I think we need fresh legs in the backfield? No. You got Chuba, you got Rico, you re-signed Blackshear. Do I think they go and get a running back? If they do, I think it's day 6. It's round 6, round 7, if anything, right? So that's if they do. Wide receivers wise, again, I think if they don't go with Tet at round 1, right, and they go defense, I think they probably go Noel in round 2 or 3. Depends on how far Noel falls. Because we do need some serious playmakers. I do think that we need a serious playmaker who can be a part of that solution, continue to create separation for Bryce. Like if they're serious about continuing to help Bryce, right? You got to get weapons who can actually get open. Now, can Xavier Legette bounce back? Can Jalen Coker improve? Yes. The offense, I wouldn't say it was predictable at times last season, right? I think, but there was definitely some change. We saw some improvement from Bryce. I think you add some receivers for sure who can actually create separation, have that ability. I think it's crucial if they want to move the chain. So I do see more the wide receivers being, if we're going to pick them, right? I think it's a day 2 pick. Day 2, I think it's, or not day 2. Well, I guess you could say day 2. Yeah, I do think it's a day 2 pick, right? Day 2, so round 2, round 3. All right. Again, I think other guys that they probably will maybe take a look at. I don't know, Jalen Royals. Maybe they take a look at Bond. I'm not too sure. Kyle Williams again. Nick Nash is a sleeper. I think they actually met with Jalen Lane recently, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they met with Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech. Most recently. I don't know much. I do know a little bit about him. I know they met with him, and I don't know if they met with anybody else. But I do like Nick Nash too. I think Nick Nash is a very sleeper as well. All right. All right. So let's continue on this list here as we keep going. Let's go to tight ends. We've so far, I'm pretty sure we've only met with one tight end. And I think it was, let's see if they even have him in here. Yeah, they don't even have him in here. It was Carter Runyon out of Tucson. That was a pro day. I mean, he's probably like a 7th round pick if I'd have to guess if he's not, or he could be an undrafted guy. I don't really know much about him, but he's not even on this list. So we'll skip over that. Let's go over to I think it's tackles that we did meet with. So we did meet with some tackles. We did meet with our Ariante Ursere, right? Guy who can play, who plays left tackle. I don't know. I've watched some of him. He's more of a left tackle. Again, you're looking at a guy who's 6'6", 330 pounds. Now, here's the reason why I know they definitely looked at him is first off, zone run blocker. We run a wide zone scheme. It makes a lot of sense, right? But for him, man, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. He's a 2nd round pick, right? I think he's definitely a 2nd round pick. If they go after him, here's the thing. I think if we're going to go and get a tackle, right? I think we need to be looking at guys who are pure right tackles. That's just me. Now, this guy could end up, be a guy that kind of moves over to right tackle. Maybe that's what they're looking at with him. I don't know. Okay. But this guy reminds me of some guys like from last year, Talise Fuage out of Oregon State. Some other guys like Trey Smith, Darnell Wright. That's who they remind me of. He reminds me of. I think he's a guy that you could find in, like I said, in the 2nd round, probably with a team. If it's not us, it's a team that employs plenty of quick game, play action concepts, really to help his transition. I think he's going to need some time to develop as a full-time starter. I think he's got the physical tools, steady college progress. I think suggests he could become a quality right tackle with left tackle flexibility in the right system, right? His the thing is, you're going in a league with that increasingly is the value of tackles is increasing each and every year. Right. You can hold up in pass protection while still moving bodies in the run game. Right. Like, I think, again, you're talking about a guy who's a day 2 pick, starter upside. Combination size, power. I think he's got steady technical improvements that need to be done. Right. I think his best football are still ahead of him. I like to go after him. Okay. So he just needs to clean up some stuff. Mainly, it's his hand timing, improve his ability to redirect against counter movements. But overall, solid pick if we went with him. All right. Another one I think was, I got to go back to the list here. Let me get back to the list. Ozzy. I like Ozzy, right tackle. He would definitely be a nice predecessor for you're talking about a guy who I think, man, he could be your predecessor. Like, his calling card is his ability to be a stonewall for rushers in pass protection. He thrives in that traditional drop back passing thing I do like about him, right? I think he does it all really consistently, right? He's a natural anchor, can refine that kick slide, and he could shine very well. Technical foundation is there for sure. He's a swing tackle, with clear runaway push. Starting snaps at right tackle by midseason. Run game shows more peaks, as you can see. Again, we're talking about a guy who's 6'8", 309 pounds, right? He would be good for us because he's built around passing, but he's also got that mix of gap and power runs. Like he would fit in that type of system like that. So, well, and kind of what we run, a rock solid right tackle, right? I think he definitely needs some technical polish, but learning from a guy like Taylor Moton wouldn't hurt, right? I honestly see him, right? I think I honestly see him. I see him being a third round pick. You're not getting this guy in fourth. He's not going to fall. All right, let's move on to the next person on the list from the visit. Let me see if I can find him. It was actually another Boston College. I don't know if he's going to be on here or not. Let's see. There is another page though. Let's see. I'm just scrolling back up to see if we got anybody in here. Oh, this is also. I just need tackles, not tight ends. Let's see now. Xavier Truss. I don't see him in here. So we'll just skip over him. Now let's go into defensive tackles. Really? I don't want it that big. Jesus. Pause. Interior defenders. Okay. So we have met with, I don't know if we've met with anybody within the first round who are first round picks. I think we did meet with Walter Nolan. Am I not mistaken? We met with him. Like we met with him at a Senior Bowl, but if we're talking about like 30-day visits. I think we met with him at the Senior Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Like we were talking to him. Trap, either way, if he was the first round pick in the fourth or the fifth, you can't expect him to be the next Greg Olsen. Your expectations are way too high. Again, that's why I say I hate comparing players. We got to stop expecting these players to be the next successors of these. Thank you, Rocky Road Warrior, for correcting me. Appreciate that. Successors of past people. It's just annoying. Stop comparing them. These guys aren't going to be this. Stop comparing them. Their comps might not even be Greg Olsen. Their comps may not be Julius Peppers. Their comps may not be Luke Kuechly. That's just the thing I have trouble with Panthers fans is that we want to compare them to all past Panther greats. Let's just stop doing that. There's no point. You're still upset we didn't draft Jackson Powers Johnson last year? Offensive line did well without him, though. Pretty sure we met with Walter Nolan at the Senior Bowl, but I could be wrong. I could have sworn we met with Walter Nolan at the Senior Bowl, but we're not even talking about the Senior Bowl. We're talking about pro days, 30-day visits, local visits anyways. That's what we're talking about. So, all right, let's go into the guys that we have visited with, okay? All right, let's go into that. All right, so TJ Sanders out of South Carolina. I mean, big Gamecock fan. Again, this is one of my, I think between him and Kyle Kennard's very underrated. I mean, I think I think Sanders is flying under the radar. Second round pick, I think it's fine for him for sure. But I think he's an early second round pick. He's got the athleticism to thrive in both 3-4 and 4-3 fronts. He's got the quickness off the snap that makes him a problem. He needs to bulk up a bit, but the potential there is undeniable. Okay. Again, He's a guy that checks off a lot of boxes. Okay. He's also from Marion, South Carolina. Demetrius Knight. I don't know if did we meet with him too? Let me see on the linebacker list. Yeah, we met with Demetrius Knight. We'll break him down. All right, let's move on. We're gonna keep going here. We met with also I'm pretty sure we met with CJ West at the combine, if I'm not mistaken. Not the combine. The Senior Bowl. Deion Walker. Here's another one we met with. Big boy, 6'6", 345 pounds. Damn. I mean, the dude's fucking massive, dude. I mean, just absolutely massive.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, that's what that guy deserves. Like, where the hell did you come from? But when we're talking about Deion Walker, man, I mean, a guy who's 6'6" and ran a 5'1", the athleticism's there. I mean, if you're 6'6", 345 pounds, and you ran a 5'1", that's ridiculous, dude. Very underrated, an absolute unit. This is a guy that's gonna eat up double teams. And the thing is he'll still find a way to get into the backfield because the power's there. Again, 6'6", 345 pounds, and runs a 5'1", 40. His agility is going to surprise you for his size. Again, he's just got to polish some technique. He could be a game changer. You never know. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, I'm sure she is excited about him. He about to get paid. He about to get paid. A lot of South Carolina Gamecocks. We did. We went to the pro day. Doesn't Walker stay injured? I don't know. I'm not sure. Honestly, broski, I haven't really heard about it much about his injuries. Well, it surprised me for a guy who's 6'6", 345 pounds. But it's funny that you say that because look at this. He tips the scales, but his weight distribution is to his disadvantage. He carries a good amount of weight in the midsection. His calves and ankles are narrow. So Deion Walker is projected early second round pick. I don't see it now. I think honestly, now I think he's probably gonna fall back just because of his weight distribution. I mean, that's why I think where he is 106. I could see him being a late third round, early fourth. But maybe someone takes a chance on him because of the upside and takes him early second. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me though. Again, I think there's going to be guys that we aren't going to expect to get picked early. I do. Right. So let's go into some other guys that one of my favorite guys that we met with is JJ Pegas. Very underrated defensive lineman. I pick him a lot in our mock drafts, if you haven't noticed. Very underrated. You're talking about a guy who's 6'2", 315 pounds, ran a 4.9 40. Guy's a former tight end turned. He's a former tight end that turned into a defensive tackle. He's an athletic freak, dude. Like he's still learning the position, but the upside for him is undeniable. Like I think if he continues to develop, he could be a problem in the NFL. He could be a problem in the NFL. I'm just saying. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to refresh that. What are some first round reaches you think happen in the draft, Clay? Probably, I mean, if we're probably being honest, I mean, good Lord. I mean, it could be anybody. Maybe Michael. I did say my hot take is that Jacksonville takes Jalen Walker at number 5. Reason why I say that is because they've done it before. They did it with Trayvon Walker. Maybe they take Michael Williams instead. Maybe they like Michael. I don't know. I wonder who, maybe again, they may take Mason Graham. They may take Tyler Warren. I mean, Jacksonville is a team I think that Carolina needs to watch because who they take. Because I think that might solidify where we go at 5. Because they're a team I feel is that unpredictable, but they are also one of those teams that always reach for players. Like remember when they went Trayvon Walker in 2022? He was supposed to be like a I want to say mid first round pick. So, I mean, it could be. For a big dude, right? Do you like any of the draft people they brought in? Yeah, I do, William. I do. Yeah, I mean, out of the guys that I mean, we're talking about some of the guys. I mean, TJ Sanders, Deion Walker, JJ Pegas, Cam Jackson, like all those guys, right? I think Ozzy, Ariante, the guy Ursay out of Minnesota, liked him. Jalen Noel, liked him. Jarquez Hunter, I liked him. Ollie Gordon, I'm 50-50 with so far. T Mac, of course, like him. I'm just not as high on him as others. So yeah, there has been some guys. But we're gonna continue here. Stay on that defensive line real quick. Let's go to Jackson. Let me find Cam. Well, they did meet with Tonka too. I think. Where's Cam Jackson? Do they have him on here? Here you go, Cameron Jackson. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Sorry. I had to go and get some water. I also like Jordan Birch out of Oregon. Jared Ivey fits the best in my opinion, but what do I know? You got your opinion, man. All right, so we met with Cameron Jackson. I mean, this guy is massive. 6'6", 342 pounds. I mean, just absolutely. They don't even have a comp on him yet, which I mean, I guess I'm not surprised because I mean, you're talking about a guy who's 6'6", 342 pounds. I mean, he's basically a Deion Walker. Honestly, I would just say I'd say he's like a Deion Walker, but I don't know. Trying to think of like the best way to explain him. I think he's just raw. Like he's got intriguing traits, especially obviously his frame being 6'6", 342. Right. I think he's just got the same problem. I think he's got the same problem. The reason why he's moved so far back as like Deion Walker does. I think Deion Walker is more explosive, right? But I think the reason why Cameron Jackson is that he's not as explosive, and he also is like really slow. Let's just be honest. I don't think he's that fast. So, but guy eats up blocks. Again, another double teamer. Yes. Well, the big one is I think who Marcos is talking about, like the big one. I think he's who's bigger even than Cameron Jackson is who he's talking about. I don't know much about him. I know a little bit. I don't know much on the Florida big men. All right, let's get into the edge rushers now. All right, so we've talked about most of the edge defenders, or not the edge defenders, the defensive tackles. Let's get into edges now. Now, the edges, we have been in talks with a lot of them. I mean, the edge room might be the biggest list that we have. Not even kidding you. Because if we look at this list, it's Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, Princely, Umana Melian, Kyle Kennard, Alufan Fumi out of UCLA, Fidel Diggs, and Quay Robertson or Q Robinson, I think. I'm not sure how do you pronounce his name. Jalen Walker where is he? Is he even under edge defenders? No, they don't even have him under edge defenders. So Jalen Walker is one of the guys that we have been looking at. I put him under edge because he can play both. He's one of the guys we've looked at. I mean, I'm not really going to break him down. We've broken him down before. Now if we go back to the edge defenders, which I might be going back and forth with this, so I'll just do edge and I'll do linebackers. So we've also met with his counterpart, Michael Williams. We've broken him down before. Princely. Where is Princely? There he is. Princely's a guy that we've also taken a look at. Definitely a second round type of player, in my opinion. I think he's an underrated edge rusher in this, kind of like Kyle Kennard. You're talking about a guy who's 6'4", 255, ran a 4.6, 840. He's best when his hands are in the dirt, like coming off the edge, right? Like a bat out of hell. He's got great length. burst, but lacks elite bend. If a team puts him in a wide 9 alignment and tells him to just go after the quarterback, he'll do just that, right? I mean, that's his specialty, right? Go back to my list. Let's go to Kyle Kennard. That's another guy we've met with lately. So Kyle Kennard, another one. I'll give you my thoughts on Kyle real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull up my list here. Here we go. So Kyle, 6'5", 254. One of those pass rusher who's just has the natural feel for the game in his position, right? He has that natural feel to get after the quarterback. Very twitchy, quick first step. Has that kind of hand fighting skills that give offensive linemen nightmares. Needs to add some strength, I think, to be more of that situational guy. But he's a raw pass rush talent, and I think he's legit. I think he's very underrated. But we'll see. Okay. Another guy we met with. I'm pretty sure we actually met with this guy recently. If I'm not mistaken, where's he at? I think I just passed by him. No, maybe I didn't. Let me go to the next page. I'm pretty sure we met with this guy recently here. Well, the next guy we did meet with, it was Alufami Aladejo. I'm not pretty sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I didn't know much about this guy until I did some research on him. I think there's a lot of upside with this guy. I really do. He's not one of my favorite picks. I need to look more into his tape. I really haven't looked at his tape enough, to be honest with you, to give you a full breakdown. But I do think he's got some major upside from my understanding. Now, we did meet with Ashton Gelati recently, who I think has a lot of upside, and I think he's a very underrated edge rusher in this. You're talking about a guy who's got a very high motor, right? Edge rusher, I think he brings it every damn snap he plays. Got solid hand usage, can line up in multiple spots. Definitely a versatile asset. He's not the most physically gifted, but he's tough as nails and will find a role in the league for sure. Even when he's with us. All right. What's up, Ropp Master? Appreciate you joining, man. Guys, where are we at on the like button? Where are we at on that like button? 20 likes. We got to get that likes up, man. We got to get that likes up, man. Hit that thumbs up button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on any other platform, come over to the YouTube channel. That's the best way to show your support. All right, let's get back with your regular program. All right, so we also met with the Syracuse edge rusher Fod. What is his name? Well, we met with I'm pretty sure Quidarius Robinson, if I'm not mistaken, or they call him Q Robinson or Quay Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe there's another one. I thought that was the same guy. We also met with this guy, Fadil Diggs. I don't know much about him. I would have to watch more of his tape. And I think there was somebody else we met with. I think we met with Shamar James, if I'm not mistaken, but I think he's a linebacker. Yeah, he's a linebacker. Let's see. Anybody else? From an edge rushing standpoint? No. All right. Linebackers. Okay, we already did Jalen Walker. The biggest name, obviously, on this list is Demetrius Knight. The biggest linebacker we met with is Demetrius Knight. Everybody else, there was two other guys we met from South Carolina, Debo Williams and Bam Martin Scott. The other guy we met with is Shamar James out of Florida. Okay. Um, I mean, if we're talking about Demetrius Knight, I mean, he has jumped up on draft boards. Obviously for good reason because he's an absolute stud. Okay. He is an old school thumper. He's that modern day athleticism you're looking for. He's the kind of Mike linebacker who loves blowing up plays in the backfield. He's straight line speed, very impressive. His timing on blitzes, very surgical. Downside, lateral movement, coverage skills, definitely needs some serious work. So, or he'll be a liability against heavy run offenses. Other than that, the other guys, I mean, I'm not really too worried about. They're guys that we're going to get on the back. Probably, I mean, either they're going to go undrafted, or Shamar James, you're getting him in the 7th round. All right, it's nothing we're missing out on. No offense. All right, corners. We met with recently Quincy Riley out of Louisville. All right. So Quincy Riley out of Louisville didn't have the best season, had a great 2023 season if you go look at it. I mean, 2022, decent, pretty good season. 2023, best season so far. 2024, not so much. All right. I'm not really sure what happened in the 2024 season. I have looked at his tape. I have looked at a couple of his plays. Here's the thing. Riley is a nickel corner. That's what he is. Aggressive, instinctive, breaks on the ball like a safety. Very good at that. But his deep speed is just okay. He struggles to keep up with true burners. And that's an issue also for nickel. Most of the time you're in the slot, you're going up against a speedster, right? Especially, and he's also on the outside. True burners will get him. I mean, he has to be in a system that keeps him closer to the action. And if you put him in that position, he can make a difference, right? Blackout. Interesting. We should look at Noel Williams. Noel Williams is interesting for sure. All right, let's go into the final position group, and that is safety. And I probably am missing some guys because I'm pretty sure we met, and I'll have to add them to my list. We did meet with Nick Amonawori. We actually met with Nick Amonawori twice. Pro day. Well, I guess I'm assuming pro day, but a local visit. But I'm wondering if his pro day counted as the local visit. Maybe not. Again, we're talking about a guy who could end up going in the 1st round, right? We've done his breakdown on the channel before. I mean, dude, I mean, what is there to say anymore about Nick Amonawori, right? I think he's the best safety in this draft class. That's just my opinion because he's a freak athlete who plays like he's allergic to missed tackles. Like he don't miss tackles. That's one thing he does not do. And he's built like a linebacker, plays like Derwin James, moves like a corner. He's just a nightmare for offenses. Like if he lands if he lands in Carolina, definitely wouldn't be mad about it. And if Evero knows what they're doing, right? If he truly knows what he's doing, this guy would be an instant problem in our secondary. Like I would expect him to be a tone setter from day one. All right. And then we also met with, I think it was Jonas Sanker out of Virginia. I know a little bit about him. I don't know much. I need to do his comp, honestly. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. I don't know much about him, but we met with him. So after looking at this, man, like if we go with team needs and PFF, they're gonna say, Travis Hunter. These are the guys that we should draft. Like, here's the thing. If we're breaking this down just from the 30 visits, right? I think that Carolina's going to either here's the thing. It's 1A, 1B. Actually no. Maybe it's not 1A, 1B. It's more like this is A, this is B. I think A, Jalen Walker's their number 1 on their board right now. Okay? Like number 2, I would probably say it's T-Mac. To be honest with you, I think it's T-Mac. And maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it's Michael Williams. But I would say Michael is probably my plan C. I think they're or not plan C, just if we're doing a multiple choice, or whatever. A is definitely like number 1, I think, on their board is Jalen Walker. I think their number 2 is T-Mac. I think their number 3 is, in my opinion, is probably Michael Williams. And maybe their number 4, if we're looking at it from the visit standpoint, their next first round pick. It would have to probably be, for me, maybe it's Nick Amadawari. Maybe they think Nick Amadawari is worth the first round pick. I don't know if it's worth at number 8. But like if we're looking at these visits, man, like it's definitely between edge rusher and defensive line. I think the first 2 picks are probably going to be edge and defensive line the way the visits are going. Because the majority of the visits is between edge rushers, which they met with how many edge rushers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think 2 others recently that I don't even have on this list that I have to add to this list. So like 8 or 9 edge rushers. And then defensive line, they've met with, at least from my list, I don't know if they've met with any more, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Yes. Why? What's up? I'm almost done. So, I mean, if we're looking at it from how many visits we've done, I think from this standpoint, the first 2 rounds is going to be defense. I think that they go edge rusher, or they go Jalen Walker, or they take an edge rusher. Even if it's not Michael Williams, maybe it's Mike Green. Maybe it is JPJ. I know for a fact, though, I think right now, if we're going it based off the visits, edge rusher is their number 1 priority. Now, I've heard I just saw a rumor today that Carolina loves the look of Mason Graham. Does that mean they go with Mason Graham? No. It's just a rumor. But if we're basing it off the visits, that number 1 pick, it's either Jalen Walker or another edge rusher. They haven't even taken they haven't, and of course, how much more, I don't know how many more visits they're allowed, right? Well, 30, but I don't know how many more visits they have left because I know that I'm missing some guys on this list. But I think right now, they're number one on their board. I just feel like from everything I'm seeing, it's Jalen Walker. Probably T Mac or Tyler Warren. Maybe Tyler Warren is number two. I don't know. I would definitely say T Mac's a number two because they went and visited him. I think they like T Mac more than they do Tyler Warren. I'd rather have Tyler Warren than T Mac. That's just me personally. And I think there's other wide receivers that better fit this offense and better fit for Bryce Young. I also think that, you know, if we're going with a plan C, maybe it is Mason Graham. There's a lot of rumors that they like him, right? But based off of visits, defensive tackle seems like to be a second round pick. But I think it is interesting how Carolina front office has looked at like second round guys like Kyle Kennard and Princely out of Ole Miss. Right? So I think their number one priority is definitely edge rusher. Because you got to think about it this way. Jadeveon Clowney, DJ Wonnum are back. Sure. Pat Jones was a nice add in free agency, but let's not pretend again our pass rush is anything special. Again, we need some game wreckers off the edge. All right. It's not just a bunch of almost got there type of guys like Michael Williams, Jalen Walker, both from Georgia, we've been again linked to the Panthers. If either of them are available at 8, they could go there. If Abdul Carter falls, do they trade up for him? I don't know. I hope not. I hope they don't trade up for him. If Mason Graham's there at 8, do they take him? I don't know. Because you also got to think safety's a big probably. I would say probably, but after edge, it's either safety or defensive line. I think they've done themselves a lot of favors at the defensive line when you went and got Tershawn Wharton, Bobby Brown, right? Both of those guys. Plus, you got Ashawn Robinson coming back, and you got Derek Brown coming back. Right? That's a solid rotation already in the defensive line. So do we really need to take a Mason Graham in the first round? Or the second, necessarily? I would love to see them maybe in the first pick go edge, then safety, then maybe get CJ West in the third if he falls there, and then go and get a wide receiver like Kyle Williams in the fourth. Right? Because safety, I think, is really personally, if you think about it, safety is kind of our second biggest need because besides Trayvon Moehrig, the safety room is still thin. Right? Trayvon's great in the box, but we need a rangy ball hawking playmaker to pair with him. And since safeties really go top 10, trading back, picking up extra assets, I still think also might be the smartest move. So, I think maybe it's like you go edge 1, safety 2nd, wide receiver in the 3rd. Because wide receiver is, you're bringing back Adam Thielen, but Adam Thielen's 34. Xavier Gett has some promise, but drop passes at the worst times, right? Jalen Coker still can develop, right? David Moore, basically a depth piece, but he also has some drops. So let's not act like he didn't have some major drops last year either. But nothing screams elite in this group, or nothing screams scary. Like these wide receivers don't scare no corners or defense. Like you got to find out what Young is really capable of, and getting him another playmaker is definitely a priority. So don't rule out you might see a receiver at 8, T-Mac or Golden maybe, but even if the defense is, I still think defense is still likely the choice there. So I could see them going edge one for sure. I feel like they're gonna go a pass rusher at 8. I do. I think that's the move. I do think that's the move. I mean, that's just me personally. And then and then after wide receiver in the third, they go defensive line. And then maybe you go get a right tackle in the fifth. I think that, if we're talking about it from that standpoint, I think there's a lot of moves that they can make. Which ones are the correct moves? I mean, or which one's the right direction? I think if it's me personally, guys, again, I think you go edge first round. I think you go safety second round. And if they trade back, if they feel that trading back's the smartest move, then so be it. I think trading back is the smartest move, in my opinion. But I'm saying this. I think if I'm going to give you a draft guide for the Carolina Panthers, and we're doing this based off the team, you got to go edge rusher 1, safety in the second round, wide receiver in the third, and then I think you go defensive line in the fourth, offensive, and then you maybe go get a tight end or a tackle or a corner in the fifth, right? Now I know we got multiple picks. I think we got 2 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, right? So maybe they go and get, those other positions of need in the extra positions of need there, right? I mean, we got to remember I think we don't have a 6th round pick. I think we have 3 fifths and 2 fourths, 1 third, 1 second, 1 first, and then 1 seventh. So there's multiple ways they can go. I mean, this draft, I think another thing is we got to realize is that this draft is a defining moment for Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. Like, you can't screw this one up. This is the one that you cannot screw up, I feel like. I think this is the one that you have to hit on. You got to get it right. But I do think here's the thing. I do think that if the Panthers stay at number 8 and take a future Hall of Famer, great. But the odds, I just don't think the odds are in our favor, man. Like, if they trade back, they can still get top tier prospects. You increase your chances of landing impact players in the later rounds. Again, this isn't Madden. You don't win by flashy moves on draft night. You win by making smart ones. Okay. Like, long-term success isn't built in a single round of draft. It's built over time with smart, calculated decisions. So I think the Panthers front office needs to do the right thing. I honestly think that the best move for them at 8, if they don't like what they see there, move back, stop out picks, build a roster that can actually compete long term instead of chasing a pipe dream. Like, if you're with me, on this, meet me at the beach tonight for some drinks, dance, and let's talk some strategic draft talk. If you're against me, you go straight to football jail. No bail, no appeal, no parole. You're just in straight. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this whole thing. So again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream tonight. We've been live for over an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you become a member today also. But again, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. We are going to be breaking down Tyler Warren's film this weekend, either tomorrow evening or Sunday afternoon. So give or take. So we'll see. Either way, we're breaking it down this weekend. I got to get some more content out to you guys. But other than that, guys, appreciate you guys as always. Make sure, again, become a member today. Join the Discord as well. Marcos Cash has already put it in the chat. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. And of course, as always, guys, have a good weekend. I will see you either tomorrow or Sunday. So see y'all later. I'm out of here. And as always, guys, keep pounding. Peace.